Hello, guys. How's it going tonight? I'm pretty sure we're live. Can you give us a 5 by 5 in the chat? Let us know if you can see us and hear us, and all is well. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're very happy that you're here. And this is our second roundtable for the conference. Sorry, I'm just making sure that we're all good to go on the back end here. Let me refresh my page.
How's it going,
Yes,
guys?
we are.
You live?
So we are waiting on Laura Eisenhower still, as you guys probably noticed. She's not here with us. Hopefully she'll be hopping on in a few minutes. Um, but we're just going to go ahead and get started without her. So we are giving away a free live stream pass tonight. And in order to win a live stream pass, all the instructions are in the description below if you miss what I say. But all you have to do is go to our new website, journeytotruth.online, and sign up for our email list and email us the word free in all caps. And you'll be entered to win, and we'll pick a winner tomorrow, probably, or at least by this weekend. You'll know. If you won, you will receive an email. And if you're already subscribed to the email list, you just have to go on our website and email us the word free, and you're entered to win. So we're very excited. We have a great lineup tonight, a powerful lineup. We have Vivian Chauvet, the Arcturian channel. We have Lowell Johnson, who's going to be bringing us some updates from Inner Earth, and Brad, who's going to be bringing us some updates from the ski slopes, wherever he's skiing. And we were going to talk about Laura Eisenhower's new book because Brad and her worked on it together, and we'll probably bring it up hopefully when she pops on. But here we are. Welcome to the show, guys.
Always great to be here. Thanks for having
Yeah,
us on.
thank you for having us. It's
Thanks for
wonderful.
inviting me again.
Yeah.
Really great
So,
to have you all. Yeah.
so I guess we'll do ladies first. Vivian, sorry that you're the only lady here right now. Hopefully you're joined by Laura soon. But I guess the purpose of these roundtables are to kind of give yourself a chance to let our audience know what you're going to be speaking about at the event and anything else that you would like to talk about, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, thank you so much again, both Tyler and Aaron, for organizing this. I am thrilled to be part of the Rebel of Disclosure conference here in Illinois with so many esteemed colleagues on the lineup. So we're going to bring differently our use galactic perspective with my Octarian delegation, talking about a new galactic awareness that is rising more and more with the star seed that is reawakening deeply and coming with the new grid system, the shifting of the matrix to reality. We're moving into a much more predominant new harmonic, new earth 5D energies. I'll do a very potent and experiential activation with my delegation for those who are going to be joining us at the conference and during the lecture. And of course, between today and May, we're going to be moving into a different aspect. The energetics are shifting again. So I always do is I communicate with my delegation and I look at the timeline to see what will be more relative or more important to support people with at the conference. And I get a feeling that the venue itself is going to amplify and magnify this kind of experiential, more direct contact, opening, maybe looking into more some of the galactic akashic, how to really tap into our own soul ancestry to what we call the ancient galactic tree of connections, your tree of knowledge, how you connect. And we're going to create a really beautiful, unique activation. And I'm very inspired to work with the new DNA template that is also coming through. There's something very potent on the DNA level that is reflecting into the new human template evolution that's coming in. So really helping everybody to shift out of this density of these body and be anchored on the 3D and more heavier set and more cutting into the new celestial human template and how we can do the transition, some practical tools to support everyone. So what's going to be amazing is that my delegation is going to be there, and they're always with me wherever we go, whatever we do. There's this really huge presence, and more people are starting to see them, to connect with them, start to receive also the encoding that we're giving, whether it's to light codes, whether it's a geometric pattern that's coming in. So we're going to bring a lot of balance at the conference. That's what I'm getting. As much as deep you can go into the rabbit hole we're going to go more into the next phase because we're here for the future timeline. So I think we're going to bring a really, really beautiful balance and equilibrium, just really shortly in a nutshell, but really come experience with us, feel, experience for yourself, and allow yourself to receive so many gifts that's going to help everyone to move and shift forward in the next level of octave that we're moving into.
Yeah, and honestly, that property is the perfect place to do something like that. And Brad was there last year. He can attest to it. It's a beautiful venue, and the land there is it has a sacred feeling. It's what they call, like the locals call, paranormal hotspot. So there's some sort of vortex energy. There's been some really well documented UFO sightings there, Sasquatch, the elementals. I've seen signs of it myself every year. People at the conference have come away with stories of their encounters and things that, have happened to them. So I think it's a perfect place to do exactly that. And the DNA upgrade is interesting to me, or whatever you called it, because I think this eclipse, do you think this eclipse is going to play a role in that, in the activation and the new blueprint for the DNA?
Well, it's a great question, Tyler. Well, everything contributes. If you look at the eclipse, well, of course, we're looking at it from a more galactic perspective. It's not about the moon itself, because we know it's a construct. It's more of the importance of the shift that's coming through, even beyond your solar system, and how it's affecting the Earth, how it's affecting all life on the planet, whether it's on the emotional level, etheric level, your holographic field, the Gaia sentient field itself is shifting. So I think it's more of a marker or a cosmic marker than that moon or that eclipse coming up on April 8th, I think, around your calendar linear time. Okay. Yes. And it's already happening right now because, everything is in the now, but you're simply going to experience it when you call it a little bit in your future timeline, but it's already unfolding now. So it really has a galactic core realignment. I think there's a movement that is distinct in the solar system because your solar system is really reflecting more of a higher fifth dimensional construct in it helping the Earth to also shift in that direction. So yes, it will have impact, may not be at the level that you think, but nonetheless, it's about to be receptive to what you are ready to receive and also integrate. So it's really about your receptivity and your field of receptivity that is also going to determine your level of experiences and the ripple effect around this cosmic phenomenon, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's a much more enlightening explanation than Brad just gave us off camera. So Brad, I mean,
Sorry, Brad.
let's face it.
Throw me under the bus.
There's all kinds of theories being thrown around right now on what to expect during the eclipse, and the mainstream media is putting out a lot of fear propaganda. But the latest thing is this devil's comet that's supposed to come by. Brad, even if you wanted to read that post that you shared today on
Yeah.
Facebook, just to kind of bring another perspective and have some fun with it. But ultimately, I am in alignment with what Vivian said, and I really do believe that something along those lines is really the purpose of why we should be honoring this time as significance. But Brad, go ahead.
Well, okay. I mean, and we all know that the Schumann resonance has been going off the hook. There are cosmic rays that are pouring into our solar system from the galactic center. A lot of things are happening on a celestial level. So then you have on April 8th, one of the biggest full solar eclipse happening because it spans so much land in North America, starting down in Mazatlan, Mexico, up all the way through eastern Texas, where I'll be speaking at a conference the day before on April 7th in Bastrop, Texas, for the Team Light festival they're doing down there. And of course, we'll see the eclipse the next day, moving all the way up through and all the way. There are towns named Nineveh, including in Illinois and Missouri, goes through southern Indiana, through Ohio, and then right up along Lake Erie and Lake Ontario till it gets to northern New York, northern New Hampshire and Vermont, goes through right through Maine, and then exits out through northern part of Canada. So it crosses all three countries in North America. That's quite remarkable. The other two major eclipses that have passed in the past decade just crossed through portions of North America. So I think something big is going to happen in the sky. So it's sure it's going to be an extremely interesting show of seeing a full solar eclipse. And if people haven't seen it, you got to see it, because it's really a phenomenon of nature that will really drop your jaw in awe. It's so amazing.
Right.
But something more might happen, and of course there's going to be this Devil's Comet that's going to be coming into view. And I said there might be something more to this. And Lindy Tucker, who's a truther out there, we communicate a lot. She said it'd be a great time for the US military to unload their holographic 3D cold plasma technology into the clouds above and put Jesus or the aliens in the skies, throw in a little EMP for effect, and maybe even fly in some highly developed discs loaded with Buck Roger beam weapons, and we'll have ourselves a real party. They have this planned called Operation Firesign. And I've heard for many years that 2024 would be the year that Operation Bluebeam would be rolled out. And that would be the fake holographic alien invasion. So what better time than the full solar eclipse when everybody's looking to the sky and videotaping it? And they have this technology. They've had it for many years. It's just, what's the motive behind it? Why would they want to do this?
Right.
If they do it. And I don't know if they will. But then there's all these other weird things. I don't know if you want me to go into it about the 12 different things that are also supposed to happen. Most are religious in nature, and some are just coincidences, but it's a
Right.
very significant day. And I think we'll all look back on April 8th and say, wow, that was pretty remarkable. If only we just see a full solar eclipse for 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Welcome, Laura. How's it going?
Hi, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Oh, you're muted.
Hey, everybody. Good to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. Um, I guess we'll just jump to you real quick. Sorry, Lowell. We'll get to you in just a second.
No, I think we continue the ladies first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Laura, I kind of wanted to give you an opportunity to let our audience know what you're going to be speaking about at the conference, and even talk about how things are going with your new book that you and Brad just got done working on, and anything else that you'd like to share with us.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's been an incredible process to put out this book. Wow. I definitely have been going through a lot. I didn't imagine I would be processing what I'm processing. I guess people that have put out books can relate. I don't know. It's just like, wow, it's like all out there, just everything about my life, my mission, and just everything that is like happening on this planet. And so, yeah, when I come to the conference, I'm going to dive into the topics that are very much a part of the book. What are we dealing with right now on this timeline? And where are the inversions and the psyops and the, weaponry taking us in places and into a direction or trajectory we don't need to go? So, I mean, a lot of the astrological things that are happening this year, I'm going to just, really dive into as we kind of like navigate all this, like everything that Brad said, all these like events that like are coming at us constantly. It's just like there's AI signals and there's organic ascension signals, and there's like this bifurcation kind of happening. And it just takes so much for all of us to navigate this journey. It takes so much spiritual strength. I mean, once I put the book out, the cyber attacks and the kind of people that have been in opposition or trying to stop this kind of thing increased to such a degree that it's been hard to sort of like bounce back from. That's why I might seem a little off, because I just got back from Florida, did my first book signing, and then all of a sudden some CIA 3-letter organization people put their kind of people out on me, and it started to like try and derail, right? So it's like navigating this is just a lot. A lot is trying to stop what is inevitably going to happen on this planet, you know, something huge and wonderful as everything is like collapsing. It's just,
Wow.
you know,
Well, you know what? There's nothing that can stop it. And if you're not getting the attacks, then you're not doing something right. So it's just all proof that you're doing something right, because otherwise you're just like preaching to echo chamber, you know. I always say, like, if you're not triggering people, then you're not reaching the right people. So
Yeah. You're
you're
over
gonna
the
say,
target if you're being heavily attacked.
Yeah.
And you're on your mission if you're being heavily attacked by the people that, like you said, don't want this information out, and they don't want humanity to awaken, because their control system relies on us staying suppressed. So they're going to do everything they can until they're fully out of the picture completely, you know, that they're going to do everything they can to stop that. But so this is like the bumpiness on the way to the beautiful golden age that we all hear about, in my opinion, that is very quickly coming. But we're still in the chaotic period of the old world, the death throes of the old system, the old world, you know, and the beautiful new being created. So
it's totally
yeah.
exactly that. Yep.
yeah.
Just feeling it like big time. And that's really, you know, kind of what the book expresses. Just the alternative 3 scenario versus alternative 4, which Brad and I, you know, talk about it in our books. Ascension, disclosure, awakening versus, you know, this alternative 3 going off to Mars colony or like underground bases and having this, you know, new world order. It's like, you know, just this timeline, the intensity of like, you know, like what's happening on the timeline is just like so much. And it's just amazing because the war and the weaponry is so much on the mind, and it's so much on the consciousness of people, and recognizing that to help people to kind of crack through it, to see, you know, how they're being played and manipulated. Yeah, it's just like so much. Oh man, it's just been
Well, you know, I think everyone's kind of going through it right now too. The energies are tough, and it's a roller coaster right now, and we're seeing the trolls. Even we've been experiencing all that come to the surface right now, and it's intense. It's like, whoa, what are these people?
Yeah.
You know, where are they
And
coming
trolls,
from?
so many trolls coming out of the woodwork
Right.
left
So,
and right now. We're like,
but
what the
we're
heck is
gonna
going on?
we're gonna all unite at this conference, and it's gonna be amazing. And everybody, we can all even send you some love right now, and kind of, you know,
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
positive energy and boost the vibes a little bit. You know, you're loved and you're supported and you're with family right now. So just hang in there, and it's gonna be great. And we really look forward to, you know, hanging out in person again, and just hanging out around the fires and sky watches and stuff. It's gonna be great. So I'm going to shift over to Lowell Johnson. If you guys don't know who he has an amazing inner earth testimony. He visited Mount Shasta, which led him to a trip to visit Telos, and he's told about that story many times. But from my understanding, he's still in communication, and hopefully we get to hear some updates at the conference of some, current events and some things that are happening from the inner Earth realms. But welcome to the show, Lowell. How you been?
I've been, I want to say I've been good, but probably the correct answer is I've been sequestered for a while. I pulled back from doing conferences for a while because there was a perspective I was beginning to see that didn't resonate. And I didn't understand it. When I found this community, I looked at it as a touchstone. Here's some people that have had extraordinary experiences. Maybe they can help me interpret mine. And that's really what I was looking for first. Once I got more around it, it's clear to me that all of these people have in fact had extraordinary experiences. Now, whether they took those and turned those into an empire and forgot about the message, and all of a sudden clicks and views and all that's much more important, the message gets muddled. And that's where you lose my interest. I hold the space where I know what's coming because I've experienced it. When I look back, and you can only have this perspective after things have happened, and you get to look back at the freaking path on where you came from. It occurred to me that when I came out to tell about Telos right away, it was too early. I wasn't ready to tell the story in an assimilated fashion because I didn't have enough time pass for it to sink in. I wanted to find a touchstone though. So I found some, and I got into some areas where I started to interact with other tribe members that showed up. Here are people that think the same way I do. Many of them have had experiences and had to lock it away because there was no mechanism for them to talk about it, because the few times they talked about it before didn't go well. It's just as easy to shut down. And actually, after my Telos experience came along, there was someone who helped get the message out there. And when my second extraordinary experience happened about a year later, and it's interesting Brad's here because Brad was actually the second person who ever heard about this and saw the images about it. That was a whole new level of something to fucking figure out. Excuse my language. I meant to say frick.
You can say.
I shared that with this individual who had certainly resonated with my inner Earth story. And when I shared the aspect, this new perspective, they weren't going to have it. And I went, well, wait a minute. Here's what's troubling to me about it. And was kind of telling about the people that claim they're in the community. Look, if you claim to be connected to higher realms and that perspective of thinking, then you already know we're connected to all to one another. And there's no me and you. When we look beyond that, we know there's a connection between the two of us. So I have trouble understanding that there's the inside the circle camp and then the outside the circle camp of these people. And I was shocked by it. So I withdrew for a while, trying to figure out, well, who do I have these conversations with? And sooner or later, the tribe shows up. When it first happened to me, it felt almost like I wasn't cool enough to sit at the cool kids' table. And what I found out a couple months later is I had a cool table of my own. And those were the people that were starting to show up. Experiencers that weren't talking heads, people that have had extraordinary experiences that want to talk about it. And I just happen to have some trigger words for them when I discuss inner Earth Lemurians and Telos. Let's just start there. Something happened about a month ago. And in looking back, it appears as though the episode with Ruben on Gaia, my episode was featured like a month ago. I had no idea these things happened. But anyway, I started to hear from people I had not heard from all over the freaking planet, all over again. And in the last 2 weeks, I've probably done that many Zooms, just kind of catching up with people that are newly triggered. To me, it's just evidence that the veil is thinning more. And I can go into what I experience when I get to drift into these higher realms. There was some unsettling parts of that last month. And I thought I was done and had settled fear. I know where we're going after this. So this carbon body means little to me. If you're going to take this, I know where I'm going tomorrow, so I'm fine with that. But when physical changes start happening dimensionally, that'll freak your little third dimensional body right out. And I wasn't prepared for that. It took me a while to assimilate what the hell was being introduced to me so that I can understand that, Lowell, the things that we're showing you, we're telling you assimilation's over. You're into acclimation, pal, because these things aren't going to change. And I was at a crossroads. There was a period where I've been doing all this, understanding that last year I'd been told there'll be greater contact between the surface and not just inner Earth. And I'm counting on that. But beyond Earth sentience, I've developed a new bridge there that certainly wasn't in my field a year ago, but I see all this coming together. And when you see the evidence of all this natural catastrophic phenomenon going on, here's evidence, gang, that the shift is this far away from finishing. It's not the shift is coming. We're almost finished with it, and we're this far away from completion. So all these efforts is just to try and help you get your vibration to the level that Earth is going to be when she gets there. Because there's little time left to enjoy 3D.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that.
Mic drop.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Take that.
Before we move on, I just want to let the audience know who wasn't here at the beginning. We are giving away a free live stream pass tonight, and all you have to do to enter to win is go to our brand new website, journeytotruth.online, sign up for the email list, and send us an email that says free with all caps, and you'll be entered to win, and we'll announce the winner this weekend. And if you're already on the email list, just go to the website and send us an email that says free, and you're entered to win a free live stream pass. And by the way, all of the information for the event is at rebelsofdisclosure.com, and all of these lovely people will be there, and we can't wait to spend a whole week with them almost. And at the very end, we're going to be going back to the Cahokia Mounds. And if you don't know what that is, we did a whole documentary on it. It's a very ancient sacred site, and Brad was in that documentary. So the Friday after the event, if you want to extend your stay and just stick around, we're all going to be heading straight from the event to the Cahokia Mounds, and we're very excited about that. And I'm sure there's probably some inner earth stuff going on underneath those mounds as well. Who knows? But
Sure.
Yeah. So does anyone else want to add to anything that Lowell said, or anything about the eclipse, or anything that we were just talking about? Brad, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, well, and to address Lowell's comments about changing up your usual conference talk, or Laura with her new book, anytime you come out with something new, you're giving yourself a new makeover, and that doesn't always go well with people. We kind of get pigeonholed into a certain niche, and I'll tell you, it's pretty hard to expand out and be an authority or an expert or an author in different subjects. I've done it and I continue to do it, but it's a work in progress. So many people think, oh, you're the Antarctica guy, and they want to keep me in that box. But boy, there's so much more to that. And I did see Lowell's talk for the very first time before anybody did at this certain conference. And I'm not invited back this year either. So, I mean, we all get we move on, and that's okay. But it was
I like to look
talk.
at it as we decided not to participate anymore. That's all.
But you gave a great talk, Lowell, and I was very impressed. And I thought, boy, you got something here, and you should be expanding on that. But instead, it seems like it kind of took the wind out of your sail. So I'm hoping you're going to keep growing on that concept that you put out there, because it was really very incredibly informative, and you showed pictures, and it was multi-dimensional in nature. So I look forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah,
That's why I said yes.
Yeah, and thank you for that. We reached out.
Thank you.
It all started because I think you commented on our Inner Earth webinar that we did, and I think that's how the conversation started. And thank you so much for agreeing to join us this year. It means a lot to have you back, and we're glad that you're speaking publicly again. We have Niara Isley coming and speaking publicly for the first time since 2018, so that's really cool. And it's just going to be a cool lineup this year. But um. Laura, I want you to hang in there. I see you over there. I just want you to know that we love you and
Yes, we love you.
yeah,
Thank you
it's,
guys.
and it's gonna be okay.
I know. I'm like, oh man, I could barely express myself when I first came on, because it's just like sometimes the enormity of all that we are up against. When it just wants to pull a carpet from under you, it just, yeah. I mean, I'm used to it. You'd think, yeah, I'd be just like, yeah, here it comes again. But yeah, it's just incredible the amount of dark weaponry that is out there, that is looking like it's light, looking like it's benevolent. That's another thing too.
Right. The
There's
false light
yeah,
right now is here
It-
and it's
yeah.
prominent. And if you
and
know where to look, you're like, damn, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
yeah, and just the divide and conquer. It's just, I feel truth just should be questioned, and I don't know. My whole mission has been about busting down potential false narratives, not in a way that should make anybody feel wrong about what their research was, because I was surprised at the things that I found out too. We have to be flexible. We can't just stay so stuck to a particular belief or narrative that we don't open our mind up to new information that might be coming through. And I think that flexibility is really important, and asking questions and having discernment and being able to like handle the tough questions. The priority, I think, is, love and mutual respect, and not fall into the divide and conquer. And that is, I think, one of the most important things, is that in our quest for just the truth of our origins and everything that we explore and everything about disclosure topics and ascension, that we don't fall into the pit of the divide and conquer, that we can all agree to disagree and still just appreciate, yeah, we're not all going to see it the same way, and that's okay. I think the ascension energy is that, staying together and staying strong and united in our hearts is the most important thing of
Right.
all.
Yes.
Yeah. So and that's where I feel there's just a lot of traps in some of this that doesn't seem benevolent, even though it's presenting itself as such, because they're master of disguises, right? After the Second World War and all the different sort of propaganda and indoctrination that got people convinced that what they were supporting was a good idea at the cost of so many lives and so many things. It's like, this is the next level generation of it. Yeah, it's like, let's just call it out and not be afraid to admit that, yeah, we were misled here and there, and laugh it off, and just drop some of the ego, and just, open our minds to something of a much more bigger picture. And ultimately, the best thing is that we get to fall back on ourselves. Whatever betrays us from the outer world and the facades, the truth of what we're really waking up to is encoded in our DNA, because, it's like we are switching on so much that has been compromised and, like dormant, and all these frequency fences and seals and the nets and the things that have encased us in this limited human experience is like being shattered. And the death throes that these parasitic forces are feeling are just like doing everything they can to really, try and defeat us. And it's just got to keep the humor.
Right.
Gotta keep laughing.
Well, I agree. You know, we can't forget to not take everything so serious all the time, even in these times, and find joy wherever we can. But Vivian, I saw you nodding along to a lot of what she was saying. Did you have anything to add to that?
Thank you so much, Tyler. It's just, I love the very powerful premise, Laura, that you brought in. And I look at all of us right now, just the six of us, six coexisting very distinct realities, and how we're able to come together a more unified field. And it is true, so very true right now for many light workers, practitioners, the teachers out there, the authors, the pioneers, that we need to avoid the trap of it's all about me. How can I market me over you? How can I be more popularized? So that's part of the trap that has been cleverly intertwined right now. And it's about understanding that you are a conduit for something higher, whether it's Laura has been done for years, what Brad has been brought for years, what Lowell has the courage to come and says, look, this is my experience. I know who I am. I know what I've been experiencing. And that's how we're reaching a greater radius, a greater range of conscious awakening. And that's how we truly inspire an entire planet that has fallen so deep into a descending, polarized, dualistic, and manipulated false paradigm to really start to awaken and go, wow, where was I? What was I thinking? I woke up from this very deep, intense dream, and it was so convincing. And to realize that in reality, your projection are just holographic realities are being projected. So in my case, I bring a very direct, ancient, and potent intergalactic presence because of who I am and what I represent along with me. And there's a purpose for me to be here. So what I hear, a very inspirational affirmation and declaration of sovereignty from those who are, been in forging the pathway, are earning, respect, and also, the work that you've been done, the work that has been implemented with courage, determination over and over. This is why we come to supporting you even more. And I know that my true role, it's really much for that aspect of your future timeline that is really coming in, because you are in that gateway right now. But at the same time, I've been playing a role of really support on many levels, because we can see there's such a desire, there's such a synergy. So being more unified, I can disagree, you can disagree with me, but understanding that when we disagree with each other, we're still a unification. There's still an energy, a synergy that we wish to co-create. And it's time to really step for all of us in that sovereignty, as opposed to fall into the traps, like Laura so eloquently said, and I agree with that. So it's about unwinding ourselves from these mental traps that keeps you into a loop or a paradigm loop, or what we call one of the lower timeline loops, into those mental constructs that feed a full aspect of yourself. And discernment right now, it's capital, because look at all the technology out there. And I'll tell you, I'm very diplomatic. I'm very, how could I say that? Classy. When I do interview, I never point anybody to the fingers. I never call names, but I will tell experience that I have. And I have been pushed or be in the presence of the so-called technology, whether it's electrons or plasma light or a throbbing box that talks to you, that's supposed to elevate your consciousness. And if you come to me and tell me your technology is Arcturian when it's not, I'm gonna let you know whether it's not is real or it's not real. So right now it's easy to get caught up into all these very appealing form of technology. Is going to heal me. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be able to be telepathic. I'm going to be able to self-heal myself. I'm going to be able to communicate with so many intergalactic beings and so forth. But in reality, you need to ask yourself more of a basic question. What is this technology about? What is this training about? What is this information about? Is it really serving my sovereignty, my empowerment, is it really serving my highest and greatest good? Or am I being just lured into another paradigm, we call false light, or, or the energy behind it that is just to cast you into that box again, but it looks like a more advanced box. So I just was nothing a lot in summary. I was just nothing a lot because the energy that's coming in to this round table is what we need to clarify and come together more and more. It's really longer a context, a popularity context. I don't care how many followers I have on Facebook and Instagram and how big my channel is. What I care about is the difference we can make, what we bring, what you bring, and what we bring together, like at a conference in Illinois. I want to see a more unified field among ourselves so we can reflect that. And that is the ripple effect we want to see on the planet. That is transformation at its best. So I know I get passionate here, but it's something good here.
It's
Thank you.
it's amazing.
Beautifully
You're
said.
beautifully said. You're 100% right. So much of what you said about the healing technology and some of the stuff being introduced right now, I don't trust anything at this point right now, especially while, the old guard is still in control, right? And until the medical establishment and all that stuff has been purged, any new technologies that are being introduced, I fully just feel that anything that's meant for me, I'll be guided to strongly spiritually, and my soul will know if it's right for me, and I don't have
Right.
to be sold anything like a used car salesman, right? So, and that's the big red flags to me when people are trying to sell you their stuff. But I couldn't
Right.
agree.
Uh,
Go ahead,
do you
Evan.
mind if I interject? Yeah, because
Yeah.
what I realized is that every trap and false narrative is based on you giving your power away to something outside of you, right? Rather than stepping into your power and realizing you have everything you need within you, right? Because we're all one with everything, with the whole universe. We are that, just experiencing itself in the point of awareness. So why would you need to have a savior? Because that's essentially what you're doing, whether it's technology, a person, an ET race, whatever. If you think something else other than, you yourself are a savior that you need to give your power away to in whatever way, shape, or form, that is the trap. And that is the whole trap, and it just manifests, shows up in different forms. But it's all the same trap, right? So
Right.
that's what we're moving out of. We're coming back to realizing we're all one and we have everything we need within us because we are everything.
Right.
And love is really the only truth that exists. So we're moving into the love frequency, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And something else that I see people doing, the celebrity status influencers, and there's a lot of them, and then sometimes it's not their fault. Everyone's unhealed and they're going through their
mhm.
own journey, right? And they'll learn their lessons as they need to. But I sometimes I wonder how other people don't see it yet. But then I'm like, oh well, they're kind of going through the same thing, and that they're attracted to that frequency. And sometimes some people just need to be accepted by the celebrity, right? Somebody that they look up to, they want to feel accepted by that person, and they're running that program. There's nothing wrong with it. We were all born into that program, and everybody is just at different levels of the game, right? And
Exactly.
go ahead, Laura.
No, I'm disagreeing. Yeah, keep going.
No, I just everyone's at different levels, so we can't.
Right.
But it's easy for us to sit here and point fingers, right? And be angry at these people. But we have to understand that, they're still learning lessons, and they're choosing that experience for whatever reason their soul needs to experience that. And
Mhm.
sometimes it might take longer for somebody else than someone else, but we just have to hold compassion. And like you said, it's okay that they're doing that. And we don't have to sit there and call them out and argue with them and all that stuff. I just don't have
Because
time for
what
that.
good is that going to do anyway? It's just going to
Right.
cause more drama and more
Everything.
of the same.
Right. So,
I love every time I hear someone else refer to people taking back their sovereignty. If we all did that, the world would right itself right away. When Tyler started to talk about these other technologies, and I've certainly seen plenty of it in the last 4 years, and I've had friends that have bought this new gadget and said, oh, you need to try that. And upon reflection, looking back, since I had this TIA I had a mini stroke at the end of 2015. Since then, I haven't seen a doctor. I haven't required any medical attention. I did not suffer from the outbreak. I haven't had anything like that. And yet, I'm having multidimensional experiences. I didn't need any of those things those people were selling to get me there. And I think our point should be people need to start to focus again on their own flame. Tend to your own flame and right that ship first. And then watch what blossoms out of that. Watch how your aura grows and people pick up on it and they don't understand what it is. They just feel it and they want more of it. That's the only way we're going to trigger them. I've kind of given up the ghost that we're going to convert any new people. I think we're trying finally to the period where I used to categorize people into the unawakened and the awakened. And then 2 weeks ago, somebody suggested another entity, and I didn't see it, but it's certainly there. And they're NPCs. I didn't really give any thought to these people wandering around on the planet with no purpose, and they didn't fit into that or that category, but they're certainly here, aren't they? Holding space.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept, the NPCs and, you know, the placeholders, the background people.
Dolores
and
Cannon talked about it, the backdrop people, she called them,
Right.
that would come through in sessions. That, yeah.
And I feel like on some level they are creating some sort of balance, whether or not they're there for nefarious purposes or whatever their actual purpose is. But Brad, I wanted to put the spotlight back on you for a second. We never did actually give you a chance to share what you're going to be sharing at the conference this year, what you're going to be presenting about.
Did we decide what I was going to talk about yet?
Oh, I don't know. Well,
I have
yeah,
so many
I
talks
I heard
now.
it to be skiing, but I don't think that's accurate.
Do it,
Yeah,
yeah.
Brad's gonna
You're
give
gonna
us
talk
a-
about skiing.
a tutorial on downhill skiing. Yeah.
That's not very interesting.
Um,
Yeah, I could do a number of talks. What would you guys like me to do? I could do the giants in prehistory and the connection with the megaliths. We could do
well,
I've done Antarctica before.
when I originally reached out to you, I was, you know, I had the idea. I've heard you talk about the, you know, the space programs and the shadow government and some of that history. And I think it would be interesting to, you know, just put together all your research surrounding that and just to help, because there's always new people coming into this stuff. And there's going to be people, this is their first conference. And we talk about this stuff like it's old news, but there's people that don't know what we're talking about sometimes. And I think that if we can give some sort of understanding of the bigger picture of what is going on with the shadow government and the groups behind the scenes and these parallel space programs and things of that nature, maybe that would be a cool presentation.
Yeah, I haven't worked on that yet. If I have time to put that together, it would be a cool presentation. And we're going to have some super soldiers there. Of course, Tony Rodriguez, he and I become good friends, and his incredible story, both on Earth and off planet, is just absolutely remarkable. But yeah, the technology part. You know, I've been getting into a lot of research lately. I'm working on a new book on Antarctica, but also the German colony there. I've actually had a really great opportunity. Let's see if it comes to fruition. A venture capital company got in touch with me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, we love your interviews and your talks and your other books on the esoteric subjects. How about you go back down to Antarctica with a film crew?" Said, "Yeah, sure, but you want to raise the money?" Said, "Yeah, that's what we do." So they are actually putting out a 17-page deck on doing a full-length documentary film, because I know all the locations to go down there. And I would go down there if I was flying over the Drake Passage instead of sailing as I did last time 5 years ago. And I think that would make a great documentary. That's something I'd go pay $15 to go see in a movie theater, because there is so much that could be exposed down there. And we want to go to the New Schwabenland area. And like I said, I know the area where Base 211 was supposed to be, and that is in a place called the Schumacher Hills, which in Antarctica terminology is what they call an oasis. It's an area that never freezes because it has so many geothermal features the ground stays warm and the snow never sticks. And so the Germans discovered this, and they landed a seaplane in their 1938 expedition in the Schumacher Ponds. And the team went out, and that's where they established Base 211. So there's that. There's also trying to get close to the big hole in the ice near the South Pole, although there's a big no-fly zone. I don't know if we're going to get a glimpse of that, but if it's on my wish list, this is what I want to do. And I was just speaking at the Conscious Life Expo in LA a couple weeks ago, and I had no, this was at the Sedona Ascension Retreat. I had dinner with Linda Moulton Howe one night, and she can bring in her whistleblower Brian S., who I think is the best testimony on Antarctica yet. And she, of course, wants to get involved with this documentary. And we're trying to pinpoint the location of the big black UFO under the ice, because I've got now there's supposed to be 3 motherships in Antarctica that have been known since the 1970s, and our intelligence agencies have nicknamed them the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. So I know one of them is in the New Schwabenland area, and that would be another location to go to. And it's a seasonal base that's still run by the Germans. That's the other thing that people don't understand. Germany lost World War II. Supposedly, you'd think they would have pulled out of their bases there. They never left that area of Antarctica, and they're still there to this day.
Mm.
And then there's also the pyramid poking through the ice. I'd like to go there, maybe even climb it. But certainly take samples and see if it's manufactured or just attractive mountain sticking through the ice. Put the kibosh on that one way or the other.
Right. Well, fine. We'll be a part of the documentary too.
Yeah, okay. As long as I can count on you guys.
Right.
All right.
Go ahead,
Talk us
Vivian.
into it.
Yeah, I just want to observe what Brad said. It's really much what we are observing in the movement of your timelines here right now and the potential of it. So more opportunity has been given to rediscovering part of your already written history, whether it's to Antarctica, to demystify what this is about, what craft, what is it coming through, or what is it coming from, the purpose that this craft have been on Earth for a long time, and the connection to Germany, to much deeper state of history. So I'm smiling from the inside. I can feel my Arcturian father also sending me signals, because it really is illustrating very well what Brad just said about the changes, the profound changes on this earth in terms of everything is coming to the surface. Nothing can be held now. And even though there's a lot of pressure still, the dark light polarized field is still bringing all their guns as much as they can. But the thing is that how much they can rattle our cages, so to speak, they can no longer have the same impact as they used to. Because I know there's some treaty with the many planetary councils that have changed in regards to the Earth ascension. And so that kind of expedition or financial abundance or opportunity and documentary is going to come more and more to the surface, becoming more available. So I'm just, again, from an intergalactic perspective, smiling at what Brad is saying. And my team is showing me through my third eye, well, this is part of the next phase of what you call disclosure. That's just a natural, organic process. So all the work that all of you have been doing for a long time, nothing is in vain, because now we are shifting to a place where we're being more supported that way. And I can tell you there's going to be a time where this kind of really harsh intervention or being, bullied or interfered with or even attempted to on many levels, it's going to start to decrease more and more, because they won't be able to hold the veil and hide what is really in plain sight. And it's been written in your sci-fi movies, cartoon series, TV series. I mean, name it. It's been
Everything
there all along, but now we're starting to look at it from a different perspective. Why? Because you're shifting. You are shifting, right, Laura?
Yes, and anything that gets broken or exploded corrects itself. I mean, that is nature. That is really, I feel, the intelligence of, the God source, cosmic trinity, whatever you want to call it, that is within us. I mean, when we get injured, the body heals. Exploded planets happen, or the DNA template goes into junk, which it isn't, based in manipulations and all these different frequency modulations that are scrambling a person's thought processes to the point where they're not even thinking for themselves and they've lost connection to their intuition. It's the greater power of creation is to know how to correct itself. So the Venus transits and just the precession of the equinoxes and everything that has taken us into this window period is literally a planet that went through Lemurian Holocaust and electrical wars and Atlantean cataclysms and Tiamat and Maldek explosions, and but the greater cosmic intelligence knows how to repair itself just like we do. And that is the force of the unconditional love of creation and source energy is like, no matter what happens in this free willed universe kind of scenario, it will repair itself. Species that have digressed to the point where they've lost connection with the soul matrix will want to come home again. And those that refuse will, just be recycled back into source energy as space dust. It's just, everything returns back to the oneness that we all came from.
Mhm.
And that is the power that mind control is trying to trick us out of, and keep us sick, keep us degenerating, digressing, when really, if we let go of all that and all those programs, the natural flow of energy always knows how to repair itself, no matter how broken anything gets, no matter how much it might have been compromised. The power of creation knows how to restore, heal, and bring it back to wholeness, equilibrium, and balance. And if
Right.
we can allow that magic to flow through us, there's not anything we can't overcome.
Absolutely. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
beautifully
just like a
said.
wave crashing around you. As soon as it passes you, it reforms naturally. It knows what to
Right.
do. So yeah, I think that's beautiful. And I kind of want to, I have a weird question for Lowell and Vivian as far as is there an Arcturian inner Earth presence? Is there any sort of connection there?
I'll
Lowell
yield to
or
Vivian
Vivian? Yeah.
first.
Lol, you want to go first?
No one wants to go first.
Sure, let me go first.
Nobody knows. If you don't know, you
You
can say
know,
you don't know. Yeah.
I have to believe that there is. Do I know for certain? No. But I'll tell you what has come into my field since Telos has come into fully in my field. I was shown that, first of all, to help the rest of you understand that, yes, they are in fact there and they're waiting to resync with the surface. Secondly, then it was brought to my attention, Telos is not the only inner Earth city, Lowell. And you need to begin to espouse what you do know. So what research I could find, there's a series of books that I found 9 specific inner Earth cities that were identified. And so those were the rabbit holes I went down. Now, why is all this information coming to the surface now? Because we're so close to the shift, gang, that the last time these catastrophic things happened on the surface, where did a lot of the surface people go? Yes, they went underground. So it's time for us to energetically find these places. And in the end, I realized I wasn't drawn to Shasta, although I'd heard about ascended masters out in the forest. Yeah, it'd be great to interact with one. In the end, when I analyzed what I was doing there, I was seeking out energetic places. Didn't know why, but when I got there, I felt something different here. And there's another one, and there's another one. And as time goes by, I see none of these are supposed to be secret anymore. The time for all of these to be understood and available for everyone is now. And that's why I think all of this is being brought to the surface again so that people have a greater understanding of inner Earth. There's a pocket of people that resonate with it. There's a pocket of people that know about the Lemurians and Atlantean influences, and I don't want to overlook that because they're as important as the Lemurians are. We just focus on them because, you know, they seem to come in our field more. But believe me, the number of Atlantean colonies that are in Earth are as vast as the Lemurians. So I believe that the traffic that's coming in and out, and Dave Wallace and I were speculating because he'd asked me, what do you think about those lenticular clouds? And I said, well, I'll tell you what I think. I think they're shrouds for the activity that's coming in and out of there. And so if there's activity coming from off planet, who are they here to visit? Yes, they're colleagues in inner Earth. There is definitely interaction taking place between beings that some we're familiar with and many that we are not familiar with. But get ready. So some of this process has got to be to help humanity come to terms with the first time you're aware of these things, don't frickin' freak out. I want to posture myself as the interactions I've had with higher elements have all been benevolent. And I'm going to hold that space. I understand there were secret space programs and there were abductions, and I'm not taking anything away from those people because they had their experiences too. However, I'm going to focus and feed my attention to where I think it needs to be, on things that, if I believe my thoughts manifest into things and I'm a co-creator of that, then you can count on me putting a positive spin on whatever is coming out of me, because I know that's what the universe is going to return in abundance.
Yeah, beautifully said.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Nailed it.
And go ahead, Vivian.
Thank you so much, Lo. Very inspirational indeed. So to directly answer your question, Tyler, so we have to bring it into a different perspective. We do have what's called point of contacts on the planet, and we do have etheric outposts. We're not exactly, by definition, inner Earth as you think of it. We do have point on the planet where etherically we have an outpost. And the two of them then are really very attuned to me. As one is to Bell Rock and Mount Shasta, the other one is in Japan. And so just to give you an example, so that's more in sync with the interdimensional portal, or known as the Octurian Stargate, that we do have. Do we come that way? But you have to understand that we're coming in a different way. We come in our holographic light body consciousness projection, which can be appearing as solid to you as, you know, all of us seems to be, but we're not physically on planet per se in that sense. So we're interacting with the Telosian. We're very well known, very well aware of them. We do have a partnership or a collaboration. There's Atlantean masters and Lemurian masters. The Atlantean era is receding, so they have left most of the planet, but they're still here. But the Lemurian is what's going to usher the Earth to the next phase of her harmonic evolution. This is why Lemurian is a little bit more predominant. But we're here in our own way. And just to illustrate a little bit why we approach it this way is oftentimes Octurna being referred as the grandparents. That's because we vibrate at such a high level etherically that to you, our body will almost appear ethereal. And we do have a physical form, but it's very, very difficult for us to be physically on the planet or in planet with you. So we do it in different ways. So yes, we have some old aspect of outposts. We had a big one at the time of Atlantis, and we shifted after the catastrophe and how the planet descended into the frequency. So we reshifting our outpost. But we do have a very clear presence. Octurans is one of the frequencies, not the only one, but one of the frequencies is coming back more predominantly on the planet. That's because we have to wait till the planet was reaching a certain level of vibrational stability, higher frequencies, and globally on the conscious field that also more unified. Then our frequency will come back even more, and we're going to play a different role to supporting you into your next stages of evolution. So I hope that answers the question.
It answers my question and makes me excited. It's all very exciting
Yeah.
news. And I definitely agree, the interdimensional part of it and the etheric part of it. And there's so many there's so many other realms, I guess you could say, dimensions and things just outside of our visible spectrum that actually aren't any distance away from us. It's just a matter of frequency. And I think that's what we have to understand too. And if you can look at it as like changing a channel and you can just find that frequency, which I think can be done through dropping into your heart, I think that becomes the highway on how to traverse these dimensions and visit and have contact and experience these other beings. And I think more and more people are going to be experiencing that as we shift and raise our frequency. So it's all very exciting. It's all very beautiful. And to go back to what Brad was saying about his documentary, that sounds amazing, and to hear Vivian getting, excited about it, I think that it's going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity because we only hear about these things through the conspiracy theory networks, but to have a boots on the ground expedition and produce a physical, tangible documentary is something that hasn't been done yet. So if you have that opportunity and the money is being raised, I think it's all green lights, and I think everybody would love to see that.
Well, I just opened an email a second ago from it's VC Cross Venture Capital Company. They just set up a limited liability corporation. And that's what you do in Hollywood is when you're raising money for a film, you start with an LLC. So this guy's taken all the steps we need. And we've already got one VC company that said they will match any other VC company. So we're almost halfway there. But then the season for going down there is really 9 months from now, which is end of November until early March. I was down there 5 months ago. The other thing I really find so fascinating about Antarctica are all the old maps that show Antarctica on there, including the Piri Reis map, which was drawn by a Ottoman cartographer named Piri Reis in 1513, which depicts the coastlines very accurately of Europe, Africa, and South America. But it also shows the Antarctica coastline free of ice. And when I was down there, we went to the Palmer base. When we were in the mess hall, the head of the Palmer base said, "Take a picture of that painting and I'll show you why in a little bit." When we went outside, you could see there was this little island with some ice on top. And he said that picture portrays it before the ice. And on Pi Day, which is March 14th, about 14 years ago, he said the ice bridge and the connection to the larger Anvers Island broke off and disappeared. So my point is, there is still land being discovered down there. It is truly the last landmass on Earth that we really don't know all that much about. And so when you have these maps, some of them, like the Piri Reis map, 1513, you're talking over 500 years ago, this was drawn, showing Antarctica and free of ice with islands under some of the big ice shelves there. So I think I should give that talk, Tyler,
Whatever
about
you
the maps of prehistory, because it's really
whatever you-
fascinating. And then it also ties in the builder race, all the megalithic sites around the world, making a case that there was an antediluvian civilization on this planet.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you'd like to talk about, but it's not the last landmass to be explored because there's all those islands and continents past the ice wall that you forgot about.
The ice wall.
Uh,
Well, yeah. Well, I
I'm
saw the ice
joking.
wall, but it
I'm
was
joking.
we went to get our blue ice for our drinks at the ice wall, which is an ice shelf. It's just But did I tell you that story? How the first place we went to on the it was the Arktowski base, the Polish base. They came out with a big bucket of blue ice. We're like, oh, that's cool. And they put it in our drinks, and we had some mixed drinks. As soon as they put liquid in it, it started popping like popcorn. It's very old ice. It's ancient ice, and it has little air pockets in
Wow.
it. So after we
Wow.
learned that, we take the dinghy over to the side of the wall with an ice pick and fill up our ice bucket with blue ice.
Wow, that's
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. So I don't want to keep everyone too much longer. Is there anything that anyone would like to add before we start wrapping this up? Vivian raising her hand again. Go ahead.
Well, like, hey, I just want to mention also a fun project that I'm a part of. There's a documentary coming up. It's going to be presented, the premiere. It's going to be presented at Contact in the Desert on Saturday, June 1st. It's a documentary called the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac documentary. It is based on Greg Capamposo book of the same title. And his company, the film production company, also based in Germany, ironically, and then we work with and I give series of interviews as I represent the Arcturians. I feel that the coming of this documentary right around the June energies after your conference in Illinois, I feel like it's very much in sync with a different form of higher intelligent disclosure about understanding your interaction in this vast I would say interstellar communities that you've been evolving alongside with as a part of. And I'm really thrilled to be part of the documentary, and also I'm going to be part of the Q&A with the filmmaker and cast and crew after the premiere on Saturday, June 1st. And I just want to, that's the book that is based on. It's the same name of the documentary. And I
Great
just want to
book.
mention that.
I have that book. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Of course you
So do
do.
I. Yes.
Todd and I both have it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the documentary is coming up, and it's going to be really like telling the world, like, hey, your star brothers and sisters are with you. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of your genetic heritage. It's a part of, what you're representing. And I think it's important to also include that aspect as much as you did re-exploring the earth and all the treasures, all the historical artifact, whether it's Antarctica, whether it's in Peru, whether it's Bolivia, whether it's, everywhere around the world in Egypt and so forth. But to also have the fact that human beings are being invited to take their rightful place as intergalactic royalties, actually, and how we perceive you and how the partnership and the collaboration with love. It's really an endeavor of love, just like Laura said as well. So I just want to mention that
Yeah,
fun project coming up.
lots of things to look forward
That's
to.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Any last words you'd like to leave us with, Laura, before we wrap this up?
No, what a wonderful discussion, and can't wait for this event. I really can't wait. It's in such a beautiful part of Illinois, Grafton, Illinois, and it's just going to be wonderful. Yeah. Final words. Gosh, there's so much just coming up for people, and I don't know. It's incredible. Like, no matter how messy and chaotic and uncertain it all seems, a lot of it wants to really infect our creative energies to participate in it. We have to remember we're energetic beings. We're really powerful beings. We can determine with our sovereignty what future we want to manifest for ourselves. That vital energy does not need to hook into something that supplies it the belief in life force that could actually manifest it. And that's the thing that we have to remember is, that not consenting and not allowing ourselves to be hooked in, to be the neutral observer, and to, really honor what your creative imagination and what your dreams and visions and what your true inner calling is guiding you to bring forth in the world. And that's what our intuition is made of. That's what our emotional body informs us of. That's why our physical body alerts us with pain and disease, so that we can unlock these treasures, not get further away from ourselves and give it over to somebody else to determine it for us. It's like we're an incredible vessel that is our greatest teacher, and the things that go wrong in it are guiding us back to how to find ourselves again. So, no matter how crazy it all is, if we can stay aligned, you know, it's guiding us home. It's guiding us to truth. It's helping us to move forward. And enough with all that other stuff.
Right.
So yeah, thank you.
Right. Yeah, and then you're gonna have physical copies of the book for sale at the conference?
Copies. Yeah, I'll sign books for everyone. Yep. And thank you, Brad, for just encouraging me and just making sure that, you know, this happened. It's been a lot. I expect the enormity of all that came with what it feels like when you put out a book, and it was so much more of a memoir than I expected. But yeah, it's like, you know, this is a time of you know, Ophiuchus, like the mother energy, and Chiron, right? You know, we're facing the deep wounds of this humanity that we're all born into, and our life stories are a part of the repair work and the healing process, you know, to take it to the next level. And so each of us is holds such an important piece, and you know, unifying and bringing it all together is really where it's at. So and I feel that when I'm in your guys' presence, and so I can't wait to be with everybody at
Yeah.
this.
Likewise. And what is the name of your book and where can people find it, just for the people who don't know?
Well, it's Awakening the Truth Frequency, which is really about awakening, you know, what is your truth, and just being real with yourself so that you can go through all these different growth periods and initiations and life events and come out of it like more of all that you are, instead of getting sucked into something that is inverting you and taking you further away. It's kind of the gist of it. And I'm going to be updating my website as far as, like, you know, getting copies that I can sign and send to you. But right now it's on Amazon, and it's you can just look it up with Truth, Awakening the Truth Frequency. And it's also on Brad's website,
which is cccpublishing.com. But I'm running out of copies, so I just keep steering them over to you, Laura, because people want a signed copy anyways. Or come to Journey to Truth conference and get one signed by Laura face to face. That's the best. And you guys, you put on such a great show. It's like a big family reunion. You guys are all my good buddies from conferences, and to see you and hear your talks, it's really one great event. All the listeners out there, you got to come to Grafton, Illinois in May. It's a cool location too. Yeah, it's the confluence of the Illinois and the Mississippi River. So it's a major historical river crossroads. And we're going to go to the Cahokia Mounds afterwards. And I grew up in Illinois, so I've been to Cahokia Mounds a bunch of times and was featured in the documentary we did last year. And we even stopped at the Paisa Caves and we walked in there. That was quite impressive too, with the big reptilian-like entity on the river that the Indians used to go by and shoot arrows at. That apparently there was some kind of entity that lived there that would eat the Indians if they got too close. So there's so much cool stuff going on down there. I highly recommend you guys come and pick up Laura's book. It's been a labor of love. She put so much into this. Everything she talks about at the conferences is in there, plus the incredible history of her family and her great-grandfather. And I wrote the foreword to the book and some really good information about new information about what now some whistleblowers and revisionist historians are saying, that it wasn't Eisenhower did not sell out to the ETs. He was handed a raw deal from Truman. But we'll save that for the conference. And it's in the book. It's a really great time to travel and come to this show.
Thank you, Brad. That was beautiful. And Lowell, where can people find you, and any last words from you?
The easiest way is just type lowelljohnson.info and you'll find my website. It's easier than the cryptic little web address I have. I'm looking forward to being there. You know, as I was saying that I had been sequestered for a while, and I was happy because there was nothing that got in the way of my connections to other things that were, you know, helping my evolution along. But I do have to say that this property that I'm on here just outside Sedona is kind of evolving into something. And so there was a test drive retreat. There's about a dozen people there. And I offered to, share as a presenter, not thinking that I was certainly not part of the effort here. How wrong could I be? We have to remember that every time we participate in something like this, it's an exchange of energy. And there's something in it for me, just as well as for everyone else that comes. So I'm interested in seeing what's waiting for me at your conference. So thank you for inviting me.
I love that you brought that up. It is an energy exchange and it's an activation. And when we're around each other, it's a friend of mine's like, she's not an extrovert. She's an introvert and she doesn't know how she's going to do around a large crowd of people. I said, this isn't like the typical sporting event that you go to. The energy exchange
Right.
here is activating and it actually turns the introverts into extroverts in a weird way. Everyone feels their selves and they can share their stories without fear of ridicule and make connections that last for a lifetime. Aaron and I met at a conference. There wouldn't be Journey to Truth if we didn't go. And you never know what's waiting for you. You never know. You can't imagine it.
The conference we met is, in my opinion, very similar to this conference. And that's what started it all. And that was a conference in Loveland, Colorado, back in 2018. But yeah, like Tyler said, it's like soul family. Everyone there is it feels like it's your entire soul family all hanging out and just having a great time and connecting. And it's literally, I mean, it's the best feeling ever. And it's the coolest thing ever that, you're walking around and you can walk up to literally any person and have one of the most amazing conversations or talk about literally everything you want to talk about. Whereas in most of our daily lives, we can't really do that too much, right? At least maybe with some people, but not like that, So it's just an experience you can't, you can only get at these types of events and conferences. And
yeah,
I mean, we tried to, we took everything we loved about every conference we'd ever been to, and then we learned what not to do by being at certain conferences and being involved in some actually. And we kind of just culminated it all into a conference, and we try to get the best speakers we can, which is all of you beautiful people. So thank you so much for being a part of it. We're very grateful.
Yeah, it's very important to us too that the energy of all the presenters. We could pick people strictly based on information, but the information isn't what it's about anymore. We're going to spend a week with these people, and it's an energy exchange, like you said, Lowell, and it really does matter to us who we have there. And there's a lot of people that don't get a chance to speak, and it's because we're choosing people very strategically based on their energy and what we think they bring to the table. So, yeah, we're just excited to have all you there. And Vivian, we didn't give you a chance to let our audience know where they can find you yet.
Thank you, Tyler. Very easy. My website, which is called Infinite Healing from the Stars.com. Infinite Healing from the Stars. The name came to me over 14 years ago, and I told my team, I said, how can I put a label of what we're going to do? So they said, well, the premise right now is you're doing healing. And I said, well, it's an infinite umbrella. Well, they say infinite healing. Where are you from this point of this lifetime perspective? Well, I came from the stars to be here. They said, there you have it. So everything for now is there. We do have an online community with membership, and this is why we do the work with people, is helping to bring teachings, experience, guidance. We have Zoom meeting private with the members. We do retreat. I'm going to expanding more, but right now everything is on the website, and I'm really grateful to be part of this amazing conference in Illinois with all of you and the other speakers like Sherry and Jerry Wills and Tony Rodriguez and others. So it is a joy. I cannot wait to see all of you. Let's get together. It is time, and let's elevate this planet because we all have the authority and the power to do so. So
yes, that was beautifully said. Thank you. Well, this was a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys giving your time and being here tonight. And just for the audience who wasn't here earlier when I made the announcement, we are giving away a free live stream pass for the event. All you have to do is go to journeytotruth.online, sign up for our email list, and send us an email with the word free, all caps, and you'll be entered to win. And we will send out an email this weekend announcing the winner. So good luck. And we hope to see you guys all there. If you're interested in coming, there are still tickets available. 4-day passes, 1-day passes. If you can't make it, you can grab a virtual pass, a live stream pass. All of them are great options. Rebelsofdisclosure.com is where you can find all of the information. The lodge itself has filled up, but there are people on the Telegram group, which is on the website, who are looking for roommates and looking to share accommodations. So go to the Telegram group, see if anybody needs a roommate, and you can also, coordinate rides and transportation to and from the airport. And there's lodging in town and Airbnbs if you can't find anywhere on site or close. And there are a few campsites left, I believe, if you want to come camp or even RV camp. So there's options, and we don't want the lodging being sold out to scare you away, because there's plenty of ways to come and be there and be with us and hang out. So thank you all for being here, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We love you all. Have a great evening, and until next time, good night.
Good night, guys.